It's very hurtful, and it rips you apart when someone is on you all the time and they're tearing you down and they're tearing you down. It just rips up your self-esteem. It takes everything away from the marriage, and it can totally destroy the marriage. I've seen it, firsthand, and it's a horrible thing to have to go through.
Well, Dr. Mike, good stuff on contempt. It's kind of the kind of thing you think, wow, I don't want to have that in my marriage. But sometimes it just happens, and you look back and you think, probably shouldn't be doing that.
You know what? You get into unhealthy habits in marriage. Oh, Mike and Diane, Eric and Kara. I didn't mean to say unhealthy habits and look at you guys. I was just kind of no. But it just happens. The habits start, and before you know it, you've got this little this humor that can be hurtful, or the eye rolling, or the sarcasm. Sarcasm. It's easy to slip into sarcasm, and you don't even realize how hurtful that can be.
And probably the world's leading marriage researcher, Dr. John Gottman, of the Gottman Institute. He identified these 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, he calls, because when these behaviors are exhibited in your marriage, the end is near.
Or could be near.
Could be near.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
And one of those is this contempt idea. And so we got to take it seriously and just kind of examine ourselves and
the
our
other
motives,
4,
attitudes.
just in case you're wondering what the other 4 of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse would be, there would be, what are they?
Kind of criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Yeah, along with contempt.
You can Google it and find out more about that. But today we're talking about contempt because it is so hurtful in a marriage.
It kind of starts innocently sometimes. You kind of say a joke and you get a laugh out of it. And what we find, though, especially as a guy who grew up as an only child, right? You have to learn as an only child. You have to learn how to have a team point of view, a team mindset, because you can have that individual. And what happens a lot of times is I get a laugh. It's funny. And so now I'm trying to get the laugh rather than building the relationship.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so easy to. It's probably because of our pride. Generally we are prideful people, and if we say something that cuts someone else in a weird way, we think it builds us up.
Or it makes us look intelligent. Hey, we were really smart to think of it that way, and but at the same time, we don't realize we're actually tearing apart this closest relationship on planet Earth that we should have, aside from what we have with God, is our spouse, and we're sacrificing so much just to get that laugh, or just to get that elevated, ooh, look at him.
Just to build yourself up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Seriously.
It's not just good news, it's God news too, right? Because when God made Adam, it wasn't done. He says, I need to do something to complete you, right? And so we were
Give you a
made to be
helpmate.
together.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
That's right.
And the first key, too, I think, is recognizing it and figuring out how you can help that in your marriage. And
talking about it.
Seriously, I saw this quote on Instagram once, and it says that define your season so you can determine your rhythm. So maybe you feel like you're in a season where maybe that's been creeping up a little too much, or you're starting to notice it.
Yeah.
But maybe you need to define your season. Maybe this is a season where we're going to work on that. Just like Dr. Mike said, a season of building a culture of appreciation to kind of counteract that. And then what is your rhythm in your marriage, and adding those easy steps that he said on how you can build that culture of appreciation, verbally saying it.
Yeah, I liked how he said, he says build a culture of appreciation, but then he specifies saying express thanks specifically as well. And when you walk into that room, you go and hug your wife, you go say, I'm just so thankful that I'm with you.
And maybe it's a painful season, but just adding 1 or 2 of those, just starting off slowly and then working it into your everyday rhythm with you and your spouse.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. When you,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
When you, I know someone who was. It's very hurtful, and it rips you apart when someone is on you all the time, and they're tearing you down and they're tearing you down. It just rips up your self-esteem. It takes everything away from the marriage, and it can totally destroy the marriage. I've seen it, firsthand, and it's a horrible thing to have to go through.
It is.
It's bad enough when it's just the 2 of you, but then if that happens in front of others as well, like you're at a party or something, and you think your spouse does something kind of dumb. You say, "Oh, smart move, Einstein." That kind of a sarcasm, and so everyone kind of laughs. But then, how does that make her or feel?
Yeah, and if your spouse comes to you and says, "You know what, hon, what they were talking about on that show about contempt, I really feel like that's something that we're struggling with, and I really want us," you have to kind of swallow your pride and say, okay, even if you don't feel it, if you don't see it, if your spouse sees it, other people see it.
Absolutely.
And it's already done its damage. And so we need to kind of swallow our pride and say, okay, let's talk about this. I want us to be better. And so, let's walk this out.
That's right.
Great challenge for all of us because it's so easy. I can see things that I need to work on, and we probably all can because it's easy to slip into this because you're so close because you live life together, and so. But it is poison. You got to watch that poison and try to build, as Dr. Mike said, that culture of appreciation.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Stay with us. More to come, and it's actually going to be just the guys are going to be in a huddle segment for the second half. So, guys.
But we girls are going to listen in. You're going to listen in, okay? So don't you go anywhere.
You and I need to feel like we're successful in our marriage. Our wives need to feel like they're secure in the marriage. And when those needs get met, there is a line of trust in marriage that when those needs are met, you rise above that line of trust, and everything in marriage is easy at that point. If those needs are not met, you go below the line of trust, and everything is an issue in marriage.